Hi again, this is Jacob here from X-Frames FPV. Now, you guys have probably already noticed from hearing my voice and seeing my hands, I am not Doug. Doug is my dad. Today I've decided to do a video with his permission. I'm going to be talking about the new FlossStyle by Hyperlite. I'm really excited to review this. Bob Ruge himself gave this to me so that I can build, because I'm doing the kind of buying parts, building it, and then selling it just for fun. So I'm really excited to do this. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice is that these two are identical. Now, I think that this is an amazing design because that means that if I want to buy the top plate, if I break a top plate, then I can buy one piece instead of having to buy a top plate or a bottom plate. Because the top plate and the bottom plate are identical, this means that when you put the arms on there, you can switch it. So say that this one breaks, I don't have to go searching for specifically a FlossStyle top plate. I can just look for a plate or a base plate. So while I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to be building this frame. I got it built already, but I wanted to build it on camera to really show what this thing can do, how it works. And honestly, I think that this is an amazing design, because not a lot of the time will you see companies making things more accessible. Sometimes they actually add in liberties that make it harder to get so that the companies can make more money. But that is not being done here with this floss. And honestly, when I saw this thing built, it's gorgeous. This thing is a gorgeous frame. Now obviously, as you can see, I have all four of these bigger standoffs are the same color, but I have 3 teal and 1 purple. But honestly, I don't even care. This thing is gorgeous, and I'm so happy to have it. When I build it, I'm probably going to be putting on the Hyperlite, the 2307, 2522 Team Edition Hyperlite motors, because those things are power hogs. They pull as much battery as they can, but since flosses are inherently light, I mean, everybody knows that a floss is light. Since a floss is so light, I don't have to worry about it pulling as much power, because since this is a freestyle frame, I'm going to be going for more freestyle flips. I'm not going for time. And I can get these really nice flight times because the floss is so light. Now, as you can see, when I'm building this, Ruge, the designer, put in this little brace plate because if it was just the arms could snap very easily off of the bottom plate. But since he puts in this brace, it'll take a lot of those crashing hits that would have normally broken it. As you can see, he's got places for 20 by 20 stacks and for normal stacks as well. So you can fit in something like the HDLRC stack, or you can fit in something like, the DYS F4 or the HobbyWing F4. Anything will fit. And he's got multiple places for everything. And I love that a lot, because it makes it easier for somebody like me to build, because I don't have to think so hard about where am I going to put this, or is it going to fit a 20 by 20 stack, because it does. Now, most likely when I build this, I'm going to be using something like the AK32s with the Hyperlite F4 OSD, because honestly, that's my favorite combination right now. And the reason I say that is because the ability just for it to plug in, and it's basically just a plug and play, is amazing. I'm so happy with it. Now, when you look at this, I think I've actually done it wrong. I have. That's great. Oh no. No, I have not. I have not done it wrong. Okay. So basically how this works is these little standoffs, you know, you screw it on with the locking nut, and then you screw on these standoffs, and then the top plate just mounts to the bottom plate, and it's perfect. It's got this really nice low profile design, but it can be low profile because of how long it is. So you can fit stuff like the VTX back here instead of on top of everything. I love this thing so far. So I think what I'll do is I'll end up speeding up the build process for you guys, because stuff like this does take a little bit. But I will be talking throughout it, so I think that this will be a little interesting for you guys to watch. So enjoy while I finish screwing this stuff on. Alright, that was a really quick speed by. I'm just finishing up by putting on the last two shorter standoffs. And almost done. And done. So that's the base of the bottom plate. The only real pieces you get, you know, 3 different pieces. There's 4 pieces here, but there's 3 different ones. You have the brace plate that'll take any falls and crashes. You have the two arms combined together, which does make it stronger. Because if it was just one arm, just like that, it would move around and it would break really easily. So it's a good job on Rugi's part. It also saves weight because you don't have to have as many screws. Normally you would have to have something like, you know, 3 screws here, 3, 3, 3. So you would end up having to have 12 screws instead of just 4, and it saves weight, you know. That's the big thing, is this thing will be durable and it'll save weight. And then you have the bottom plate, which I'm going to say it again, is identical to the top plate. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it has these little divots here, these cuts. And what this does is it makes it where you can put the strap through, and to save weight, he doesn't have it on the other side. So you just put the strap through and pull it through, and then the battery can mount on the bottom or on the top. So now I'm just going to start putting on these standoffs here so that we can finish building the frame, and then I'll talk about what my plans are for this build. And honestly, I'm really excited to do it. Once I got it, when Rugi gave it to me at this race, I was so happy. This is one of those things I've been wanting to do a video on, one of the new things that come out, because I mean, I love seeing when something comes out before it's even released. So being able to post this video, I'll probably end up editing the video tonight and posting it on my channel. I'll post the time-lapse part, and then I'll post it on my dad's channel, talking about what you guys are hearing here. So I just have one more to go, and then we'll be going on to putting on the top plate, which uses 8 screws. So yeah, now we have the top plate, and literally it just goes right on top. You screw it on, and then it looks like that. So let us do that. I will speed up this process because it's really, really basic. You just put the screws in the screw holes and screw them into the standoffs. So I will be right back. So I just realized, and this is a horrible mistake on my part, I've been holding the drone over here. You guys haven't actually seen what I'm doing. Honestly, I apologize. I'm really new to this. I'll talk about again what I was talking about. The arms are in, it's 2 arms as one piece here, which is really nice. You got the brace plate. I don't know if you guys saw that. And then the bottom and the top plate are identical. I really hope you guys did see that, because that was a big mistake on my part. You see the screws go into the nuts here, and then the nuts will keep it really solid from wiggling, and then you put a little smaller standoff on here. And I know some of you guys are probably getting really OCD like I would, because I got one purple standoff here and then 3 blue or teal standoffs, which is not a big deal, but it is probably something that I would kind of get a little bit OCD about. But since I'm just building it to build it, I don't care. Right now I love this frame, and I'm really excited to finish building it. I might change the color of the standoffs. I might go with something more like orange, but just because it's going with these motors, I'll bring them over. But since it's going with these motors, I might put on orange. But I don't know. It's really just up to how I see it fit. So I just have, wow, that was funny. I just have 2 more screws to screw in, and then I'll really just talk about the frame. I'll go get the scale, and we'll talk about how light it is, and then I will, just probably talk about the specs that I'm planning on putting in here. I might, I have no idea, but I might put in the Runcam split mini, because we have one, and it would probably fit in here fairly nice. Actually, no, I'll have to put in a micro, because if you see that, that's a tiny space, but so the Runcam micro will fit perfectly in here. So yeah, that's great. I'll, of course, same thing that my dad does, I'll put in a ImmersionRC Tramp. I love those things. They're super convenient. Wire it to the flight controller, and I can do stick tuning, which I love. And then I'll also wire the camera controls to the Hyperlite F4 board, and I'll be able to do camera controls, which, by the way, is really nice. I never realized how nice it would be until, people have always set their camera settings as the same thing for like a general thing. But now, when it's the daytime, I can set the camera to look more vibrant and a little bit darker. But for the nighttime, I can change the camera controls really fast, and then it can be brighter and better for nighttime. So that's really exciting. As you can see, we finished the frame. This thing is a gorgeous frame. I mean, really low profile. We've got good spots for straps. I can, I could put on a GoPro if I wanted to. I'm probably not going to, but I could. This has got good mounting for straps here and here, so that we can put the battery here and put a GoPro here if we wanted to. And I'll put the camera, VTX, and put the receiver underneath, because it's got really good placement where I can just push the bind button there. I know that this video was a little bit different. It might have been a little bit more, it might have been a little bit unprofessional compared to what my dad's videos are, but I really hope you guys did enjoy this. I'll probably be posting another build video talking about all the specs that I'm doing, and then I'll put in a time lapse of me building the entire thing, so that you guys can see from the beginning of it to the end and really see how I built it. And I'm extremely excited to build this. And I just realized now, I really don't think I'll ever do this, but since the top and bottom plate are identical, this makes it where if you really wanted to, you could mount, I'll go grab one. Got this old DYS 4-in-1. You could literally mount a 4-in-1 right up here and do like the kind of upside down build. But I mean, since it's identical, this is a stretch here, but you could build it upside down if you really wanted to. But I would suggest just to build it normally, just because this is how the designer had it in mind. He wanted it to be a normal build. He didn't want it to be this upside down build like something like the Umagata Remix. But if you really wanted to, you could build it upside down. This thing has many options. As you can see, you got holes for 20x20s here, here, and here. And then you have the standard flight controller holes here and here. So I'm kind of repeating myself, but I'm very excited to build this. Check out my dad's website, xframesfpv.com. I'm excited to fly this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys get some time to fly.